So, happening in just a couple weeks is the Meet Your Neighbors, a multicultural celebration happening in the new senior center at West Bloomfield. And we are delighted to have Kris D'Arcy, the executive assistant to the West Bloomfield Township supervisor, here with us to tell us all about it. Kris, thank you for joining us today.
I can't hear anything.
Kris, thank you for joining us today. Can you hear us
Thank
now?
you. I can hear you now. Thank you.
Kris, it's very great to have you with us today. Can you tell us a little bit more about this amazing event that promises unity and diversity in our community?
Absolutely, yes. I am part of the Diversity Task Force. West Bloomfield has a diversity task force that's made up of community members, people from the town hall building, Parks and Rec, the library. And we have been working on events throughout the year. And yeah, on September 28th, it's a Thursday evening from 4 to 7. We're going to be hosting an event at the Connect building, and it's called Meet Your Neighbors, and it's a multicultural event that's primarily an opportunity that we're hoping to get together residents in the community that would like to come out and mingle, get to know their neighbors, get to learn a little bit about. There's 3 different cultures that we're going to be sort of focusing on, and there's going to be performances by.
That is great. You mentioned a little bit about these performances, and I'm very interested. I told Tyler yesterday look at the flyer. There's the Arabic guitar or the oud, and then there's the African dancers. Can you tell us a little bit more about these performances and how do they contribute to the event's theme of cultural diversity?
Yeah, as you know, we have one of the most culturally diverse communities here, and probably in Oakland County, and we're very, very proud of that, and we like to celebrate that. The one of the 3 performers is going to be Rod. His name is Rod Hakim, and he is a very talented musician who's been playing his it's like a guitar type stringed instrument. Tambura. I'm not sure if that's the exact name of it, but he's going to be playing for probably 15 minutes, starting around 4:30. He's going to be playing and sponsoring, representing his Chaldean culture with his music. We also have light pastries that are going to be served and provided by the Chaldean Community Foundation. And that's at 4:30. And then there are 2 other timed events for this event. At 5:30, we're going to be having the African dance and drumming team performing, and that's going to be absolutely amazing. They've already been shown at a few other events that we have. We have Black History Month. I don't know that they performed there, maybe outside of the building, but they have performed at the Juneteenth events that have been sponsored in the township. So they're going to be performing live at 5:30 p.m.
That is definitely great. I'm very excited. I'm definitely gonna be there. I really enjoy just look the music of all these different cultures, and it's a great way. I think music is the greatest way to understand the diversity and to look into other cultures deeply. It's very sensational, I'm sure, Kris. So you mentioned a little bit earlier about the West Bloomfield Diversity Task. I would like to hear from you. How do these collaborative organizations? I know that the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force includes West Bloomfield Parks, the West Bloomfield Public Library, and also community events. How do they all come together and collaborate to create these events, and specifically this event?
We have been meeting. The Diversity Task Force, we meet via Zoom, and it's about it. We used to meet about maybe once a month or so. As the event gets closer, we've been meeting more like weekly on Fridays, afternoons at 2. And as a matter of fact, the Diversity Task Force, we are always open and looking for new members to join us to share their thoughts and their opinions and their insight. and maybe give us new, fresh ideas. So if anybody out there is interested in joining the Diversity Task Force, they can visit, there's a website, but I would recommend that they visit the Parks and Rec website, which is wbparks.org. They have information on there about how to become a member on the Diversity Task Force. And all you have to do is join us for a Zoom Friday afternoons at 2 o'clock. And yeah, we started planning this event earlier in the year, but you know, as it gets closer, we've been coming up with more details and working closer on the specifics of it. And yeah, we're always looking for new Diversity Task Force members.
That is great. We did have Vincent Kirkwood last week from the diversity from West Bloomfield Parks, and he is a part of the diversity force task at West Bloomfield. And he did mention a lot of great stuff and a lot of the great work that you guys do to make all these events happen and to make all our community a better place to live in. Kris, can you tell us a little bit more? Speaking of the diversity task force, can you tell us a little bit more why or how do they recognize all these cultural and ethnic religious differences in the community, and how do they, a part of events, what do you guys do, or what are other things that you do to make our community beautiful, as I said earlier?
Well, we like to, you know, we want to be representing all of the different cultures, which is hard. We've got so many. But throughout the year, we try to plan different events. We had, you know, an LGBTQ plus event earlier in the year, which was held at the library building. That was just, you know, we like to hold that specific event was to maybe help people with educate them on the different terminology that you hear nowadays. And some people may not be familiar with it, be uncomfortable with it. We just want to make everyone feel more, you know, included and more knowledgeable about that sort of thing. The other things that we've planned throughout the year, we had the Chaldean Community Foundation. They actually did an event earlier in the year, also at the library, that focused on talking about the Chaldean culture and the history, and there have been other events that we've been putting together. This is one of the bigger ones that we put together. In the February, we always do, for Black History Month, we always try to do several events each weekend. And the Black Expo, which is held at the Orchard Mall in the past. That's a really big event that we hold in February. But this particular event, yeah, we're really proud of it. It's our first time, obviously, so it's sort of like a practice run. We're going to see how this goes and how well the turnout is, and if it's very popular, we will continue to try to improve on it each year. And if it gets too popular to hold at the Connect building, which holds about 100 people, then we may be looking for a new location. But right now, we're just excited to get this event, you know, off the ground, and we hope to have a really good turnout at it.
I'm sure you will. Speaking of the turnout, I know you speak with each other, the Diversity Task Force speaks with each other. What kind of impact are you hoping you get out of this multicultural event?
We're really just hoping to bring people together, and there's a lot of divisions in the world right now, and we just want this to be an opportunity to make everybody feel included and welcome and get a chance to know everybody. Maybe the more you mingle and talk with people and learn about them, maybe it will help bridge gaps and just bring peace and harmony and just, you know, a really good feeling of belonging in this wonderful community.
I'm sure you guys are doing a very good job doing so. We do feel welcome, especially as a person who has just been here for 3 years. I certainly do feel welcomed in this community. There's a lot of acceptance to multicultural individuals, and people are definitely the nicest people in Oakland County. I mean, as far as I know, I've only been in Michigan, different counties in Michigan, but I've definitely never had an incident where I felt like I'm being discriminated against because of my cultural background. So it is all thanks to people like you and this task force that are doing such a great job. Uh, one more, thank you so much, Kris. But one more question I would like to ask is, did you have like any success stories or positive stories that you would like to share with us from your previous events, whether it's multicultural or, as you said, Black or LGBTQ events? Can you share with us any successful stories or outcomes?
Well, it's we're just getting these off the ground, so they're not, they've been very well received. A lot of our events are, I think, becoming more popular as the word of mouth travels. We're still trying to work out a few tweaks. We've had, a couple of events that we've tried to hold on like a Saturday afternoon or something in the summer. What we're discovering is that maybe a weekend, daytime event during the summer is not the best time to hold something. Maybe people already have weekend plans, or it's nice and they're outside instead of, coming indoors to an indoor building inside the library. But maybe we're thinking about holding events, different locations, different times. And that's why we decided for this particular event, September 28th, which is a Thursday, from 4 to 7. That's why we thought maybe a Thursday evening would be a nice night that people will mark their calendars and not have much going on. It's going to be a wonderful event. There's 3 performances. The 2 I already mentioned. The third being we're going to have the Michigan Lion Dance team there, and they're going to do. We're going to have a tea ceremony master. His name is what's his name? George Bernwanger. Anyway, he's going to be doing a tea ceremony, and then the Chinese lion dance will be taking place at 6:45, right towards the very end, and that's going to be really neat.
That is awesome. Finally, Kris, can you tell us how individuals can find a little bit more about this particular event?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a flyer that we're trying to get out on a lot of social medias and trying to get out there. But if you wanted any more information, you can call, I would contact the Parks and Rec Division at 451-1900, or you can also visit their website. There's a little link to pre-register. In fact, yeah, it's there on the screen there. You can pre-register by visiting their website, the wbparks.org. And it's a free event. There's no charge to any of this. It's all free. And we hope to see a lot of people there in the community.
That is definitely a great event. I'm sure a lot of people will join you on this wonderful multicultural. Also, meet the neighbors. Again, it's meet your neighbors. There's a QR code. Everybody can scan the QR code on the screen if you're watching us right now. Or as Kris said, you can visit wbparks.org to know more all about this amazing events and their upcoming events, as well as the work that the West Bloomfield Task Force does to make an impact on our wonderful, wonderful community. Kris D'Arcy, thank you for joining us. Again, as Kris D'Arcy, the West Bloomfield Task Force relies on volunteers. So if you're interested in volunteering, you can also visit their website, wbparks.org. Look into volunteering options. It's a great opportunity to give back to this wonderful community. Kris, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.